Hey everybody, welcome to another Teaching Tips Tuesday with me, Alex Fabrega, and today we have Jasamyn Nichols, a previous FBC intern who is now a TVI and an O&M. Congratulations, Jasamyn, in the Kentucky school system. How you doing, Jasamyn?
I'm doing great. How about you, Alex?
I am doing very well. So I understand you want to talk about tactile symbols today.
Yes, I have some right here with me to show you guys as we talk about them.
All right, so for those who might not know, what is a tactile symbol?
So tactile symbol is a tool that we use for students who are visually impaired that help them access the curriculum or communicate with us. So I have some that are communication symbols, like core vocabulary words like I, want, go. And then I have some that are schedule pieces. So they kind of help guide the student through their day, know what's coming next. But they're just like an object that represents the schedule piece or just a texture that represents a word.
Okay, so some people may have heard of the Picture Exchange Communication System, or PECS. This is sort of a version specifically for a student with visual impairment that pictures might not be very useful for.
Yes.
Okay, could you show us those symbols again?
Yes.
Let's take a look. So can you kind of go through these ones?
Yeah, so I have a music symbol here, and I wanted this one to kind of make noise as well as have a texture. So it's a maraca, and it has like a little rattle noise to it. The library is a little book that has Braille in it. Outside, this student, she would do the swing on the playground, so we have a chain here. And then the bus is pretty unique, that the student, when she got on the bus, they would put a seat belt across. She would always reach out and touch that seat belt. So we took part of this, a seat belt. We went to a junkyard and got that. But that represented something that she touched during that time of the day.
Going to the junkyard to get the piece for your communication. That is some serious commitment. So if you got a new student that you thought was a good candidate for a tactile communication system, how would you assemble those symbols?
Yeah, we would sit down as a team. So that the teachers, the paras, parents, OTs, PTs, and we would kind of go through the student's day, and we would write down the things in her day or his day, and then we would think about maybe items that they requested or activities that they were doing throughout the day and make pieces for those. But as far as communication, we would, in the state of Kentucky, all of our SLPs or speech language pathologists are trained to use core vocabulary with students who are using AAC or augmentative communication devices. So they use these core vocabulary words. There's 45 of them. And so what we did was we took those 45 core vocabulary words and we discovered that a lot of these students who were using them were visually impaired. So we wanted to make them a tactile for the tactile learners. And we use them with kids who aren't visually impaired as well. So if they are a tactile learner, other kids get to use them in our state too. But we have this 45 set of core vocabulary words that are tactile that are standardized across the state of Kentucky. So any TVI or SLP can pick these symbols up and just start running with these students and make sure they have access to a communication system that's tactile and meets their primary sensory channel.
Great. So you start with those 45 standardized words and then you customize them to that student's needs.
Yes. For an example, we use this like felt that you put on the bottom of a chair for go to make an arrow. And then there's another symbol. I'm not sure off the top of my head what it is, but it uses the same material. And so the student didn't have the tactile discrimination skills to really feel the two. And so they kept getting those confused. So then we had to make it more individualized for that student and change one of the symbols. So you have to think about their tactile discrimination skills and if they're able to interpret that texture.
All right.
A lot of the time, I blindfold myself and feel the different symbols as I'm creating them, just so I know that they feel different.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that gives us a really good picture. That's really interesting that Kentucky has standardized them. Thank you very much for sharing that. right, and I have one more question for you. What is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job right now is collaborating with other service providers or teachers. As a teacher of the visually impaired, sometimes when I'm working with students with multiple disabilities, I feel like I'm going in 30 minutes twice a week and seeing the student, and that might be their only vision time or time we're thinking about their vision. So I've taken it as like a growth goal for myself that I'm going to make sure that I'm collaborating with the teachers, the paraeducators, and the SLPs, the PTs, the OTs, everybody on that child's team to make sure that they're aware of the student's vision, what skills they have, what skills we're working on, so that the whole team can focus on that student's vision while I'm not there with them.
Okay, well, that's great. That is a very good answer to that question. Thank you very much. Thank you all at home again for watching another Teaching Tips Tuesday. And if you have any questions that you want answered about teaching students with visual impairments, feel free to put them below in the comments. Thank you again, Jasamyn, for talking with us today.
Thank you.
All right, have a great week, everybody.